Hey, good morning, friends. Today, my friends, is Thursday, June the 25th, 2026, and the time now is 7:46 a.m. So, friends, today I want to talk about the World Cup, the FIFA 2026 World Cup. And I want to talk about the fact that the World Cup continues to become a very interesting event so far this year and compared to past events, past World Cup or international events. There has been lots of disappointment, lots of shocks, lots of amazing and awful, horrible, and even victorious moments during this World Cup 2026. However, friends, I want to talk today specifically about South Africa, the South African national team, Bafana Bafana. Bafana Bafana yesterday won its game with South Korea 1-0, and as a result, South Africa's Bafana Bafana, for the first time, basically breakthrough, for the first time, will move to the next stage, the round of 32, the knockout stage in the FIFA World Cup. So it is a very interesting achievement for them. South Africa, as we know, is one of Africa's power, one of the richest, most powerful country, and most influential country on the African continent. However, in recent times or current times, South Africa has been getting into lots of situation, or South Africans have gotten into lots of situation, or have gotten their country into lots of situation, contentious situation with other African countries. And this is based on the fact that there has been lots of what many term to be anti-African, and I'm talking in this case anti-Black African xenophobic attacks or march, such as the March and March, or activities in the country South Africa. Now, friends, so yesterday started with a very interesting uh, event with Qatar playing its game. Qatar basically lost, if I can remember, 3-2 or 3-1. Qatar lost yesterday, but the Qatari were very good. They were very good. So Qatar played Bosnia and Herzegovina, and at the beginning of the match, Bosnia was very much aggressive. At some point, it was as if they were playing rugby. They were basically running all over the Qataris, basically fouling. And there are many calls that I think the referee got wrong or did not call at all. But at the end of the day, Bosnia basically end up winning 3-1 or 3-2, if I can remember. I don't remember the exact score for now. It was an equal game, okay? It was a tense game, competitive game, but I think Qatar was the better team, even though they lost yesterday. Also, yesterday saw another important or interesting match, and I'm talking in this case Mexico's game, which Mexico won 3-0. However, friends, as I said earlier, and as the thumbnail indicates, I want to talk specifically about South Africa and Bafana Bafana. So Bafana Bafana is the national team, the national football team, or as Americans will say, soccer team of the country South Africa, a southern African country, which has a very distinct and interesting history. Of course, in recent times, we know South Africa to have hosted the 2010 FIFA World Cup, and we know South Africa for its apartheid history and the fact that many blacks struggled to defeat apartheid, or at least on the paper. But financially, economically, white South Africans basically own the country. They own everything in the country, and black South Africans are basically toiling. They are struggling. Okay, they are hustling to survive. But Bafana Bafana, the national team of South Africa, finally made history yesterday. And I want to congratulate them. I know that I'm nobody. Perhaps nobody is watching this video, as my videos basically prove. The algorithm doesn't work for me, but it's okay. I like what I'm doing. But I want to congratulate South Africa. South Africa they make Africa proud, even though in recent times there has been a contentious relationship between South Africa, or the South African people, and Africa, Black Africa, or the Black African people. But it was a remarkable experience and achievement for South Africa, for Bafana Bafana, especially given that they were immediately, resulting from their first game against Mexico, they were immediately counted out. So South Africa lost to Mexico, basically 2-0 to Mexico, and they even got a red card during that game. And honestly, Mexico outplayed South Africa, and South Africa, Bafana Bafana, played as if they've never played football before. So Mexico basically defeated South Africa, and many basically counted South Africa out. However, friends, South Africa drew its second game, and now its third game, South Africa won, defeating South Korea 1-0. The game yesterday was a very competitive game, and South Africa basically played. Now, South Africa demonstrated something that I have been observing when Africans play in this World Cup. As much as the offense of the African teams may not be doing its job, or may be struggling, the defense in African teams are very much strong, and South Africa demonstrated it yesterday. Perhaps because they had to win to qualify to the next stage, the round of 32, the knockout stage. But they played very good yesterday, and they basically end up scoring, okay, one goal, defeating South Korea, the country which many was basically seen as the favorite, one of the favorite to basically advance to the round of 32. And everyone thought, or many people thought, South Africa would have lost yesterday. But South Africa basically made history. Once again, Bafana Bafana defeated South Korea, and now Bafana Bafana has advanced to the next stage, the next round, the round of 32. I've been watching, or I've basically had a snippet of activity on social media, basically checking to see what people are saying. Because in recent times, there have been situation in South Africa where many South African vigilante groups have been attacking black African migrant, which many term to be anti-black or anti-African, Afrophobic or xenophobic incidents or activities or attacks. They've been telling African migrant to go back to their country. Yes, many will say, go back and fix your country, which there is nothing wrong with it. Everyone must go and fix their country. But the question that I will ask many South Africans who are kicking Africans away, is your country fixed? And if it is fixed, are you enjoying the glory of your country? Do you own anything? Because the vast majority of South Africans, as much as they may be bragging that South Africa is much developed compared to the rest of Africa, or compared to many African countries, we all know that black South Africans are very poor compared to the white. The majority of them are very poor, and they own less and less to less. And recently I came across an information that states that if you take away the white South Africans and the Asian South Africans out of the equation, black South Africans are perhaps the most uneducated on the continent. The education system did not incorporate black South Africans. Yes, apartheid was defeated on the book, on the surface, but apartheid continues. And this, friends, is to the point where remnants of the apartheid system continues, or they exist in South Africa. South African government have found it difficult to make any substantial, reasonable changes to basically alleviate the situation that black people are in. Because many white South Africans and white South African groups, as much as their Western conglomerate or their Western allies, are preventing it from happening. And this is what is rendering the South African government ineffective. Yes, corruption, which many often highlight, exists. However, the situation in South Africa is bigger than black ANC corruption. It is international, it is global, and many of the African enemies, the Westerners, are part of this. Now, in terms of the situation with South African blacks attacking black migrants in South Africa, you have a situation which now the Democratic Alliance, or DA, which is remnant of the apartheid system or officials or groups, now are positioning themselves to appear to be the voice of reason. They are saying good things, basically supporting black migrants, which those who know what is happening, it is all fake. This is a strategy. We know that they never give a crap about South African blacks or black migrants in South Africa. Perhaps black migrants cannot pose challenge to them because it is not their country. But South Africans can pose challenge to the white system if they choose to, if they're able to, and if they want to. But because of the attacks of South Africans on other black Africans, many Africans have been going in at South Africa to the point where when South Africa played Mexico, there are lots of memes, lots of trolling videos on social media, on YouTube, Instagrams, TikTok, of Africans, black Africans and others in the black diaspora, trolling South Africa and Bafana Bafana and wishing that South Africa is kicked out, that South Africa doesn't progress or advance to the round of 32. So with the game yesterday, I'm sure that many African trolls were very much disappointed because they wanted South Africa to lose. Now, friends, as I said it before, and I'm going to say it again, what is happening in South Africa can happen in any African country. When people think that their livelihood is being taken away from them, or that outsider, quote unquote, are coming in and taking away what they have, the little, these people will attack even their own kids. So black South Africans, their anger is warranted, it's reasonable. However, I feel like many Africans feel hurt. They feel betrayed that they were being beaten or driven by their own black African brothers and sisters, those with which they share cultural, ethnic, social, and other bonds, okay, in various ways. And as a result, many black Africans have been going against South Africa, Bafana Bafana, and hoping, wishing that South Africa or Bafana Bafana doesn't advance to the round of 32. Now, I do know, and I'm sure that many other Africans, despite the anger and the pain that some black South Africans have caused black African migrants, I believe the rest of black Africa will support South Africa. This is because no matter what happened, it is an African World Cup and Africa will show up for South Africa's Bafana Bafana. Every family will fight. Every family will have tension. And what we are seeing is African fight and African tension among Africans. But it doesn't mean that love doesn't exist. We do love South Africa. We are happy, even though many of us may not want to say it, because right now the tension and the anger persist. It exists. But truly, deeply, I'm sure that many South Africans are happy. They really want to make connection with black Africans. And many black Africans are very much regretting that they've been going on TV, on social media, attacking South Africa and wishing that Bafana Bafana or South Africa doesn't progress to the round of 32. But deep inside, I'm sure that us Africans, we support, we respect South Africa's Bafana Bafana, and we wish that they progress to as far as they can to make South Africa proud and to make Africa proud. Now, friends, once again, I want to say big up to South Africa's Bafana Bafana. I wish you guys more success. I am proud of you guys. I wish you all the best, and I'm sure Africa, the rest of Africa, Black Africa, is proud of you and wish you guys success in your World Cup pursuit. Even though the anger persists, we love you guys and we will support you guys. Perhaps many of us may not want to show it, but I'm sure the love exists. So once again, friends, South Africa, South Africans, Bafana Bafana, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations again to the boys. Congratulations, Bafana Bafana. Now, friends, please tell me what you think. And friends, I really want to know what you think. However, friends, I am going to end here. I want to thank you for being a member of the Echoing Voice community, my friends. But most especially and most importantly, or most important, friends, I want to thank you a lot for watching the Echoing Voice. Peace, my friends. Peace.